Treasurer, firstly, do you think that we've hit a floor with 7.1% unemployment, or should we expect an even bigger drop-off next month?
Well, the numbers are going to get worse before they get better. Today, as you say, unemployment hit 7.1%, but the Treasury Secretary has said publicly that there's an expectation that unemployment will reach 8% by September. But let's not forget, Lee, that we are in a 1 in a 100-year pandemic. We've seen 40,000 deaths in the UK. We've seen more than 40 million jobless claims in the United States. The OECD has said that they expect the economy globally to contract by around 6% this calendar year. That compares to a contraction of just 0.1% at the height of the GFC in 2009. So we have some tough days ahead. And today's unemployment numbers, they're not just numbers, by the way. They're actually people. There are workmates, there are families, there are friends, there are neighbours. And we know that there is a tough mountain to climb, but we're certainly starting to see some positive signs, though.
As you say, they are people that we care about. Against that very pessimistic backdrop that you paint, is it a fair assumption that JobKeeper and JobSeeker at their current levels will have to continue in some form beyond September?
Well, we always made clear that the JobKeeper program, the largest such income support program Australia has ever seen, it's now supporting some 3.3 million workers at a cost of around $70 billion, is the estimate. We said that it was going to be temporary. It's just not sustainable for the structural and fiscal integrity of the budget to keep that program going indefinitely.
But what happens if you wrap that up in September and you've got unemployment at 8%?
So we said that we would do a review at the midway point of this program, and that is what we are doing. And we're obviously looking to see where the economy is going in the context of the restrictions being eased. But when JobKeeper was put in place, it was designed at a time where the economy was going into hibernation. Now that the restrictions are starting to be eased, people are getting back into work, then of course those income supports can be re-evaluated. And we know from Treasury that according to the accelerated three-stage timetable that National Cabinet agreed to in terms of lifting those restrictions, we'll see some 850,000 people back in work and the economy benefit by more than $9 billion a month.
On your point that you're reviewing things and having a look, surely there are some things on which you could just take immediate action. So let me give you one example. Some people are being paid more on JobKeeper than what they actually earned when they were working. Why shouldn't that be amended instantly?
Well, there are some complications in terms of the systems with the ATO in terms of making different payments based on different sized incomes, and we recognised that we would go down a route of a flat payment, and we wanted to get that money out quickly because obviously many people were losing their jobs, and we wanted to maintain that formal connection between employers and employees. But
now you've got time to tweak that. Why do you have to wait till the 23rd of July?
And again, those are some of the issues that we are considering, but there are some technical reasons as to why it's a single flat payment.
But I can only imagine if Labor were in power and they were spending taxpayer dollars giving people more money than they were actually earning when they were working, the coalition would be screaming absolute blue murder about waste and poor design and all the rest of it.
Well, in terms of the Labor Party, they always want you to spend more, and they always want you to spend it for
please address
longer.
My point, which
is Lee, you raised Labor, right?
What you're doing there is waste and bad design. Why not address it now rather than wait till July 23rd?
Well, Lee, firstly, you raised Labor, I didn't. In terms of the size of the payment, some people are getting paid less than they would normally, and some people are getting paid more. But actually having this money going through the economy at a difficult time has been something that Treasury has supported in the design of this program.
Can I take you back to first principles? We're in a recession, there's high unemployment, high household and business debt, and a lot of uncertainty. Given that, do you accept that the way out has to be initially primarily through government spending?
Well, there's both the demand side and then there's also the supply side. And, we've committed some $260 billion of economic support through a whole range of measures. And it's important to understand it's not just the JobKeeper program. There's a $30 billion cash flow boost to businesses based on the size of their payroll. There's
so is that a yes, that you do think that government spending is...
I'm saying it's a combination of the demand side where government support is helping the demand side, but it's also the supply side where we can, through red tape reductions, for example, and deregulation initiatives, we can generate more supply into the economy. The flexible industrial relations system that we are pursuing and the changes that we made to accommodate the JobKeeper program have been really important in terms of the hours worked for the staff at a time that businesses have been constrained by those health-related restrictions.
Treasury had a story earlier about tenants who are struggling and worried what will happen when rental protections lift. A coalition of groups has sent a letter to National Cabinet asking you to take a look at that. Will you be able to deliver an extension of rental protections?
Well, the first thing to say is that the National Cabinet did put in place a new system for landlords and tenants, and that was legislated at the state. That was legislated at the state level. Now, at a Commonwealth level, we're providing $4.6 billion a year to rent assistance, and the states have their own programs. The states, no doubt, will, and National Cabinet will assess the situation in the landlord-tenant market as we move, closer to that end date for the program, and of course, the future of that program will be a matter for the states.
Treasurer, thanks for your time this evening.
Good to be with you.
Hi, I'm Lee Sales. Thanks for watching this story. If you'd like to watch more of 7:30's stories, they are on the left of your screen. And tap on the button below to subscribe and get the latest from ABC News.